So one of the most important things in a funk tune is the rhythm. You have to have deliberate and even consistent rhythm. In this tune, it's a straight funk tune, so you would have straight 16th notes be your primary subdivider. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So the first thing you should do is you probably get out a metronome, and we need to play that with a metronomic accuracy to find and lock onto that 16th note subdivision. Let's start under tempo like it's 70 beats a minute. So I'm just going to alternate my index and middle finger and play 16th notes on that concert E flat. Just keep playing until it gets really even. Another thing I'm doing is I'm stopping the note with my finger, with the next finger that's about to play with my right hand, so it's nice and staccato. Then just work the tempo up gradually till you get to performance tempo. So once you get down a 16th note rhythm, you want to start looking at some other patterns of 16th notes. This one is called the gallop. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. You could also have this reverse gallop. Ready, go. Notice there the two 16ths are on the beat. Now we can have this one where the 8th note is in the middle, surrounded by two 16th notes. It's like this. 1 E, da, 1 E, da. And now we have this complex rhythm over two beats, where we have a dotted 8th note to another dotted 8th note, which is really a 16th note tied to an 8th note, same thing, followed by an 8th note. So if you think about it in terms of 16th note subdivisions, the first two notes get 3 subdivisions of 16ths, and then the last note gets the 2. So you have this kind of, in 16th divisions it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So always subdivide the 16th note to get those rhythms even. So these first 4 measures feature a lot of these rhythms we just went over. Notice the main key area here is like a E flat blues scale. You'll see a lot of those notes in this head. Alright, so if we count the rhythm in the first 4 measures here, we have 1, 2, 3 and 1 and 2 E da, 4 E and 1, 2, 3 and 1 and then 1 and 2 E yeah. So it's pretty hard to count, but the best way to get through this is just to play it measure by measure under tempo with a metronome, instead of dividing those 16th notes. So we have 1, 2, first measure like this. 1, 2, 3. Notice Notice I always play to the first note of the next measure. That way I can really be focused on keeping the meter and always looking for beat 1, even if I'm not quite accurate. It trains me to look ahead to beat 1. That way I don't stop if I do mess up. But I can kind of use each beat kind of as a checkpoint for my rhythm. So, like, notice what beats I don't play on the first measure. I don't play on beat 4. 1, 2, 3, See, same thing on that second measure. We would have. So you ask yourself, what beats do I play on? Notice I didn't play on beat 3 because I played before 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then on third measure. See, then once again, I don't play on beat 3 in the last measure either. The whole example slowed down sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So once you get it down, you know, just go ahead and speed it up gradually. So here it is, like 85. A little faster, 95. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they're about like 105, the fastest you would want to play it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you go. Just listen for the evenness and the accuracy as you speed up. In this next 4 measures, we get some more notes involved here. Notice we have that that blues note, that third, but then it flexes to this major third of the key, the G natural, before resolving to the E flat. Then we get this that C natural, the 6th of the scale. So we kind of have like this hybrid scale. It's like a you could say it's like a E flat Dorian and an E flat Mixolydian put together. You'll see this a lot in blues and funk music, where you have this flexible third. So the rhythm, 1 and 3 and 4 and. And then the next measure, 1 and 3 and 4 E. A little different. Notice how I got the tenutos longer. The tenuto notes over the D flats can be helped by making the notes around them maybe a little shorter. That way it makes the long notes sound longer by contrast to the ones around it shorter. Then in measure 3 here, once again I played all those notes after that tenuto a little short, just to make notice that that first note on that A flat was tenuto. And then again, a little different ending there. 1 and 2 and 3 and and. So you can get out the metronome and we can put it on under tempo. You know, maybe about 70 beats a minute to start. Find that 16th subdivision. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a. And notice I'm really trying to get those tenutos long and the notes around them a little shorter, even while I'm practicing slow. Here it is about 85. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 105 as fast as you probably want to play it. 1, 2, 3. So there you go, just divide and conquer, take each measure nice and slow. Be sure you count the rhythms before you start to play it. That way you can program your brain to feel those 16th divisions and rhythms really, really accurately. Okay, this next section's a lot easier. The rhythms are easier, but one of the things that makes it easy is my fingering. Notice I've got the B flat and the A flat 2 frets apart, both on the E string, as opposed to playing the B flat down there on the first fret of the A string. Keeps it from being a reach, keeps it on the same string, so you get a couple things there helping you to play the rhythm real accurately. Notice that rhythm is that kind of complex rhythm spread over 2 beats. It's like 3 16th note divisions for a dotted 8th note, and then 3 16th note divisions for an 8th note tied to a 16th note there, then 2 divisions for the lone 8th note at the end of the figure. So you get 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 kind of sound. Then in there you get like this little what is that, E flat Dorian, like the E flat Dorian scale. So the most important thing here is just to subdivide and play really evenly. Feel that 16th note. Feel that before you start playing. 2 and 3 and 4. And that way everything sounds really good. So once again, just play evenly. It's kind of an easier section, but don't get lulled to sleep. Got to play it just as even. Here's another easier section here. Consists of these 8th notes, then a dotted 8 16th. On those dotted 8ths followed by the 16th, be sure you hear that 16th note subdivision. Dun, tick, da, dun, da, da, dun, chick, da, da, da. 1 2 3 1. And a little blues lick to cap that one off. So it's the same thing, just play really even with the metronome. Always feel the 16th note subdivision. If you don't know how many 16th notes a certain note or rhythm has in it, find out and be sure you're playing right with it. That way every bar has 16th or 16 16th notes in it after all. That's why it's called a 16th note. So you want to be sure that it all sounds completely even. So the last bit of this etude isn't very difficult either. It's just the rhythm is what is important. You have to play exactly tight. So get your metronome out, start under tempo. Here it is at 70. Feel the 16th note division before you play. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E. A little faster at 80. Again, feeling the 16ths in your head really strong. And up to 95. 1 Then on to 105. 1, 2, and a 3, and a There you go. That's the whole etude. So now play along with this drum track and see if you can stay right in time.